So what shall I talk about? About our effort, that we don't have none of it. Kayan man plian, effort, perseverance. I mean, when you look at what Lungta did, the moment, his chitta, developed and then deteriorated and developed and deteriorated. Once he found out why it developed and deteriorated, he really set his life on stake and said, no way that I'm going to deviate from the Buddha. And he described it, the first day was just like hell. He did not let any other thought than Buddha. He didn't allow any other thought than Buddha. And now look at us. How many thoughts do we allow, when we are with our parikam, because we think they are necessary, we think they are important, we think they're worthwhile. But he also said, it didn't matter to him. But once he was sure that this is the method to stick the sati to the parikama, to the meditation word, then he sticked with it, and he did not let the chitta wander about or wander off this parikama the whole day. No matter if he was eating, no matter if he was going pindapat, no matter if he was sweeping, just with the exception, sleeping. And we say we can't do it. Oh, it's so difficult. But for him, as he mentioned it, it was hell. The first day, the second day was still hell, because of the dukkha the kilesas created. They didn't want to. Their aim is just to like a fountain. They just want to pour out. Whatever is in the mind, pour out. Just the things that we have done in the past, pour out. And the effort and the perseverance that we need, really to get our chitta calm. Within 3 or 4 days, the chitta went calm. Again. And since that time, Lungta said he never ever, his chitta was never ever deteriorating again. But these 3 days of effort, we cannot do them. It's just simply not possible for us. And just to stick to this one parikama. We want to think about this, we want to think about that, and we give in. The kilesas are clever. Or sometimes I compare them to a child, a mother goes shopping with a little child, and the child sees this and wants this and wants that, And if the mother doesn't give it to it, the child starts to cry louder and louder and louder and louder. But the moment the mother gives in, she's in trouble. Then the child not only wants this, once the child knows, it gets its way. There's no limit to what it gets or what it wants. And the mother will always give in. But if the mother, doesn't care about, the crying baby or the crying child, the child will stop because it knows it's useless. Even it's crying, even it's, whatever gestures it makes, it's useless. It won't get it. So it will be quiet. And it's just like, our chitta. The moment, we don't give in, the chitta has no other option than to become quiet. The kilesas have no power than just to get quiet, to leave us alone. But because we think this is important or that is important, we have to do this or we have to do that. That's why the chitta really does not get quiet, not get calm, not find peace and happiness. And peace and happiness is an attribute of our chitta. Normally when it calm, it's peaceful and happy. It can be so peaceful, It can be so peaceful that we don't wish for anything, I mean, even if we see a thought, coming, in the beginning we see a thought, who wants to bother with this? Huh? But before that, I mean, every thought, we grasp. Is it true? Is it not true? Maybe not. Maybe not. And then we speculate about the thought. We speculate about the idea. We speculate about everything. But there is nothing else, than the kilesas, concoct these things up. They concoct these things up from the past, from the present moment, mix them together and create anything new. How many possibilities are, to create, just from a few objects, to create so many things. And that's what the chitta, what the kilesas normally do. Inside the chitta. And that's why the chitta doesn't get calm. And something that disturbs the chitta, that will not be a peaceful feeling or happy feeling. So, if we really are determined, no matter what the time is, no matter how long, just not to let the chitta get away with any thought else than the Buddha or our awareness on the breath. Not give in. And Nungda said, he didn't care if he is going to die, and if he lives, that's okay. If he dies, that's okay. So he staked his life on that. And I said, no, I am not going to give in, not to the dukkha that the kilesas are creating. And there you can clearly see, the dukkha comes from the kilesas that are not satisfied with what we are doing, because we're taking away their playground. And nobody likes to that somebody takes away their playground. That's the area where they want to play. They want to play with thinking about this, thinking about that, concocting up this, concocting up that. All these stories. Mixing it with science and whatever. Or medicine. Thinking, I'm sick. If I don't do this, I will die. Something else will happen. So whatever we do, our perseverance should be stick to this one thing. The longer you stick, that's why I encourage you to do. A session of 3 hours, at least 3 hours or 4 hours, 5 hours. Actually, Lungta says, meditation really starts once you sit or walk for more than 3 hours. That's what he calls meditation. Before that, it's just play. Sati that is completely glued to this, glued to the parikama, or be the object of investigation when we do investigation. That's mostly important. Don't let the chitta wander off in a different direction. When you look at it, even when you look at what is normally in your chitta, the thoughts, you cannot think about the same subject for more than 3 thoughts. Then it has to deviate from the subject because it's finished. The subject is finished. There's nothing more to think about it. So it has to deviate a little bit, and we don't even notice this deviation. So we think, we can think for an hour, we can think for a day, without noticing, constantly thinking that we are on the same subject. But actually, when we have enough sati, we notice, we have gone around the world, one time already, or twice. Just coming back to the same point, and coming back to the same time, taking another tour around the world, and then coming back and taking another tour around the world. Just because our sati our awareness is not that great. The awareness of what is going on. Last time I was talking about sati. I gave you a talk about sati, how important it is. And if you cannot manage, to have enough sati, then train it. And train it, and I said, in the beginning, whatever you do, just note it in your mind. At the moment I lift my arm, at the moment I open my fingers, at the moment I grab the glass, at the moment I lift the glass, I put it to my mouth, I put it to my lips, and then I and drink it. And then I drink it, it's on the tongue, and then it is in what is it called? And it's back, what is it called? Your throat. Then it's in the throat, and then it goes to the stomach. And then, until you can feel it, and be with it and note it, make a mental note of it. Or make a mental note of the feeling, whatever. And then, put down the glass. And if you do that for a while, for a few weeks, you will see your sati will increase. And you will actually notice, all these gaps that you had before when you thought you're really mindful. Or when you're really aware. When you thought you had sati, you actually see that within these things, when we go and have a shower, or when we go and sleep, or when we go and dress, how many different thoughts we have at that same time. Thoughts about this, thoughts about that, that we are not even aware of. And that's where, this noting, takes place. That's where it shows us, how aware are we actually. And once we can do that, then we can leave it alone. And then, because in the end, once our sati increases, once our awareness increases, this will become bothersome, and it disturbs us. Once we see it disturbs us, we can leave it. But in the beginning, it disturbs us because we don't want to do it. Avijja has this quality of not wanting to know. It wants to play in the dark, and it only can play in the dark. That's why it's called, why it's called the darkness, and the Dhamma is called the light. Wherever the light shines, the darkness cannot exist. Wherever sati shines, there cannot be kilesas. That's very easy. So, for this reason, Avijja, of course, does not like, to be as that aware of the thing. Just lifting, it seems to be so bothersome, Can I not do it? The moment you ask yourself, can I not do it, then you have to do it. Once sati is up to the speed of your actions, there's no problem. Then you don't have to note it. Then you will see this noting actually becomes part of the knowingness. It knows what you're doing. And we just help this knowingness to establish itself. That's why we bring it up. It's just a tool, Just like the parikamma is a tool. It's a tool to focus our attention on something, and not to let go of this attention on this object. That's our tool, to reach peacefulness or to develop sati. So, where is the problem? It's the same thing. Whatever things are difficult, these things we really have to do. Be it, once we get calm, be it the investigation of the body. Also remember, when you do investigation, stick to a topic. Take yourself a topic and then stick to it. Don't go outside of this topic. Be always, the topic should be always the body. When I was born, the body. What was the body like? How did I train the body, Try to remember. Try to remember when you were 2 years old or 3 years old. It started, of course, trying to remember, how was the body, or how did I feel a year ago, and then 2 years ago, and then 3 years ago. What did I do? Bringing up the memories, to use it for our investigation. That actually, all our life was nothing else than a heap of dukkha. There were some moments of sukha, there were some moments, of happiness. But then we even see, when we get our memory up to the speed, that these moments of happiness were not really lasting very long. And most of the time, we had dukkha. And dukkha is the first noble truth. Dukkha is not only suffering and pain. Dukkha is, boredom is dukkha. Restlessness can be extreme dukkha. I mean, you just sit sometimes, and you just tell yourself, I don't want to move, I want to stick, and you feel this terrible restlessness. That's dukkha. Not feeling at ease, dukkha. Be it bodily not at ease, or be it mentally not at ease. I mean, when you have a cold, you're both, you're mentally not at ease and then bodily not at ease. I mean, but the chitta, what has it to do with the body? Nothing. I mean, just inhabits the body. I mean, if your house is, is sick, I mean, and you live in this house, I mean, you say, oh, okay. But you don't have to be sick because of the house. But we always, we always play along. Oh, I don't feel good, I'm tired. It's the same thing. The house says it's tired, it wants to sleep, and we say, yes, we go along, we sleep as well. Let's see, what's happening, if you say, no, I mean, go asleep, and I meditate. What's happening? I mean, we are there to examine these things. We are there to try these things out. I mean, what does it mean, and then actually, what does it mean, be sick? How does it feel like being sick? Not me being sick, but the body being sick. So then we watch it, just like we watch a movie. Okay, this kind of thing, this kind of feeling, this kind. There's heat, But we instantly say, I feel weak, And let's investigate, what is weakness? I feel hot. What is hotness? I feel cold. What is coldness? The feeling of sweat. What is the feeling of sweat? I mean, we have to investigate it. We have to get the experience of this, what we put into words. That is the practice. Practicing is the way of experience things over and over again until the heart understands it. That's actually dukkha. That's actually dukkha. That's actually dukkha. Why do I keep being attached to this dukkha? Because the kilesas tell me it's not dukkha. But now I experience it, it's dukkha. Not only for one time, but for 100 times, or 1,000 times. And the moment the heart really experiences this is dukkha, it lets go. Just like I told you the last time, the moment a child grabs into the fire, it just does it one time. It never grabs into the fire, because it knows that it's hot and burning. That is the chitta. The moment it looks, what it does, and sees, it has a bad result, it lets go of its own. I mean, you don't have to tell it to let go. You don't have to tell the child, that's putting the hand in the fire, pull your hand out, pull your hand out. I mean, it will do it automatically. And that is the quality of the chitta. The moment the chitta sees that it makes a fault, it instantly lets go of it. We can't even tell it, we think, when we approach a fire, we think it might be hot, so we tell the chitta, you shouldn't do this, The chitta cannot let go. We cannot force the chitta to let go. There's no way. But we can make the chitta understand that what it's doing is wrong. And then the chitta lets go on its own accord. How does that sound? Think about it. And trying, especially when we come from the West, we are so control freaks. When we do breath meditation, we try to control the breath, because we think when the breath becomes calm, the chitta becomes calm. No, actually it's the other way around. The moment the chitta is calm, the breath will become calm. As a result, the chitta is the prime mover. When the chitta doesn't move, the body doesn't move. When the body moves, it's only in retrospect we can tell, the chitta must have moved. We haven't seen it, but we know it. Because without the chitta getting involved, the body is just a vegetable. It just lies there, or it sits there, or it stands there without doing anything. It doesn't blink, it doesn't shiver, it doesn't do anything. It's a chitta that the moment it is aware of the body, directs the body into doing this and doing that. That's the same thing, that's why I compare the body, with the car. When the driver in the car sleeps, the car doesn't move anywhere. It doesn't go left or it doesn't go right, because it stops. There's nobody that drives the car. So when the chitta sleeps, there's nobody that steers the body. It's the same thing. Get to know it. Get to understand it. Don't hang up on the words, Don't hang up on your thought. That's cold. And instantly this implies this and this and this and that. That's warm or it's too hot, It instantly applies this and this and this and that. You have to be a practitioner. Instantly you see, that's too hot. Ha! Well, what is actually hot? Not getting lured by the words hot or cold or tired or sick or things like that. But, instantly, that's a practitioner who is interested in his job. What does it mean? What does it mean hot? What does it mean tired? What does it mean sleepy? What does it mean bored? And the moment you investigate it, it instantly disappears because the kilesas cannot withstand the power of our sati, being investigated. They don't show the moment we, They don't show. No, I'm behind it, They don't tell you I'm behind this, tiredness. I just wanted to make you, fall off the plane or fall off the practice. They don't tell us this. We had to find that out. So, actually, everything. It's cold, it's hot, What is the feeling of water on the body, How does it feel like? What's the feeling of cold water? What is the feeling of hot water, or warm water? How does it feel, when we rub, what does it mean rubbing or washing, taking care of the body, brushing the teeth, What does it mean actually? We live all in this world of symbols, and yet we don't understand a thing. Nothing. We tell, so many stories of what I did and what I did, and then I did this, and then I did that, then I saw this, and then I experienced this, and this, and this, and this. But the experience itself, we have completely forgotten. Because the kilesas told us, we experienced this, and then we say, yes, my Lord, I believe you. I experienced this. Yes, my Lord, yes, my Lord, yes, my Lord. Yeah? Because you're always right, Because you have been my master for the last 6 million billion years, so lives, And I always believed you. You always fooled me, but I still believe you. If a friend lies to us 3 times, we start to disbelieve him. If the kilesas lie to us, all the time, we still believe him. Yes, you're right. Yes, you're right. Yes, you're right. Yes, my Lord, you're right. Why? Because we are not up. We don't have this perseverance. We don't have the interest really to get rid of the kilesas. We just want to have some quietude or calmness, some happiness. Just give me 5 minutes of happiness a day, in my practice, and I will do whatever you say. So we get these 5 minutes in happiness, and that makes us actually quite happy people, quite contented people. I do just, 1 or 2 hours of practice, and I will be happy. So, what else is there? Nothing. They lure us, they really, from left and right, they hit us, they beat us up, they make us suffer, and then they just say, they don't take the blame for it. They have to find out, what is behind, why they do it, and how they do it. And the moment we have sati, they can't do it. Because I'm aware of every moment. So how can they fool us? Only when we are absent-minded. Then they start, playing in the dark. That's absent-minded. Absent-minded means we don't know. So that's where they play. And tell us, yes, this is like this, And they create all these ideas, we read a book on Dhamma, and then we get the meaning, and then we meditate, and then create all these ideas. What I have read, this must be like this must be like that, But how is it really? I mean, these books on Dhamma, especially from Lungta Mahapoa, are not there for our consumptions, but are there, he did that, let me try this. He got this result, let me try it, maybe I get the same result. And you can be sure that you get the same results if you do it the same way as he does. But who has the perseverance not letting go of his parikama for the whole day, for all day long? Who has this perseverance? So, because we don't have the perseverance, we said, oh no, I mean no, that's not my character. I can't do that. And who got you? The kilesas. I can't do that. That's the way they claim victory over us. I can't do that. They have us in their pocket. We believe everything they say. I have to go here. Oh yes, sure. I can meditate better at my home. Yes, sure. And we believe it. And we trust it. We entrust our whole life to them. And what do they give us back? Dukkha. Nothing than dukkha. We are dissatisfied. That's why we finally find the way to the Buddhist sasana or Buddhist religion. And there the First Noble Truth tells us, there is dukkha. Yes, we can relate to that. We all have dukkha. Be it just restlessness, be it boredom, not knowing what to do, or just being in a bad mood or something like that, or being suffering or pain. Excruciating pain, that's all dukkha. The Second Noble Truth tells us, the origin of dukkha. We are attaching to these things. We are desiring. We have the desire to be. We have the desire to be something. We have the desire not to be something. We have the desire to want something or the desire not to want something. On the topmost level is just the pure will. I want. I want this, and I don't want this. I want this, and I don't want this. Just the same thing. That creates dukkha. That's the attachment. The moment I want something, I am attached to this. And I'm attached to results. And then the happy news for us is the third noble truth. The third noble truth, that there is an end of all this dukkha. And the fourth noble truth tells us the way to the end of dukkha. And the way to the end of dukkha is sila, keeping our precepts. As a monk we have 227, as a lay person we have 5, when we are in the monastery we have 8. So keeping these, and then starting with the practice of samadhi. Samadhi to get the mind calm and to develop sati. And then investigation. What do we investigate? We investigate the 5 khandhas. And the body is the first khandha. Vedana is the second. And then comes the nama khandhas. Until we are finished, with the first and second khandha, we don't even need to go to the mind khandhas to investigate them, because we cannot, because the body is always in the way. When we think about us, we think about this body. When we think about us, we think about feeling. So it's always in the way. So we have to clear that out before we can see thoughts and imaginations and hidden in there, the delusion. And in the end, consciousness. Consciousness itself is really difficult to detect. So how can you investigate it? If you have all this rubbish in front of you. It's just like, you want to examining what is on your bread, and you have all the rubbish on top of it. How can you examine? How can you know what it is? All what you examine, you think you examine what is on the bread, and you examine the rubbish that is on the bread, and then you think that is actually the marmalade or the jam, that is on the bread. You think, it tastes like this, and that's jam, because you assume. This is the jam. But actually, all this rubbish, the body and the feelings, are on top of this, all what you can examine is the body, and the bodily feelings, and the mind feelings. So, but as I said, I said often, things before we actually started to practice. I mean, we need to have some parami, and parami, I mean, merits or whatever you call it. I mean, merits that have been developed by generosity, by respect, and by gratitude. I mean, generosity, I mean, it's clear, if we are not ready to give anything, I mean, how can we get further on the way? We have to let go of material things, where we have to let go of our habits. I mean, to let go of material things is much easier than to let go of habits, of thoughts, of ideas. Respect, it's the same thing. I mean, if you cannot respect the Dhamma, if we respect ourselves more, if we think we respect ourselves more than the Dhamma, I mean, there's no way that we can find the Dhamma. If you cannot respect the teacher, or if you cannot respect the teaching, I mean, how can we get further? I mean, remember, in the end, we have to get rid of self, who makes up all these ideas, I think Dhamma is like this. I think Dhamma is like that. I think, Anatta is like this. I think Anicca is like that. We have to get rid of it. So, I mean, we have to rely on something that is more powerful than our I, to let go of the I. So, I mean, respect is a necessity, just like generosity. And if we can't be grateful for what is given to us, I mean, how can we be grateful for the Dhamma that we see? I mean, if we cannot accept gifts, how can we accept, the insights that come from our practice? No, that cannot be this. We have to be able to accept them with an open heart. So we have to learn this. Accept it with an open heart, these insights, and then they will come. Wow. Never seen the world like this before. Things like that. I mean, how can not the tears flow when you see it? I mean, this wondrous world, I mean, fresh in every detail. And before, it was completely dusty, always the same. I mean, this tree just looks like that tree, and this tree just, or this person looks like that person, I mean, all our ideas, the moment our ideas are gone from this world, I mean, we see it fresh. Oh, that's what people call a tree. Oh, that's interesting. And you can stare at it, for hours, without getting bored a little bit. Because it's so amazing. But without perseverance, without, continuity in our practice, do you think you have a way to go there? I mean, without continuity, just think about the practice, and that's my last example. I mean, like a child, trying to learn or to walk, or to talk. I mean, if the practice of the child is not continuous, if it waits, after falling over and says, now, I've done enough trying out, today, I'll do it tomorrow, and each day, it tries to stand up one time. I mean, maybe it cannot even walk, until it is dead. If you don't have the perseverance, we fall over, we get up. We fall over, we get up. That's why Lungta Mabo was giving us the example of a boxer in the ring. I mean, you get in the box ring, and the problem is, I mean, you're going to box against the champion. I mean, the champion of the world, or the champion of this universe. I mean, the first time you get into the ring, I mean, you just fly out. And then all what you have to do is, put yourself together and crawl in again. And crawl in again. And crawl in again, And get, but after 3 times you say, that's enough. I mean, that's not working today. Let's try it tomorrow. I mean, we will never get rid of this champion. I mean, we have to try to crawl in again, get another blow from the kilesas. That's fine, as long as we don't give up. As long as we get up on our feet, get back into the ring, that's perfectly fine. I mean, nobody is able, to throw a blow at the champion, in the first round. Maybe in the millionth round, I mean, he can throw, Or he can duck, to avoid the blows of the champion. And then he starts, slowly he starts to beginning to understand the movements. You understand? The movements of the champion, the movements of the kilesas, how they trick us. That's understanding the movements. So, we can dodge, or we can avoid this. I said, okay, now I know it's a kilesas. And the moment we give a blow to him, we give a blow to the champion, and then he's maybe knocked out for a few minutes, or for a second, or for 2 seconds, or maybe for longer, for a day or for 2 days. Depends on how heavy the blow was. That's how we can defeat the champion. And Avijja is the champion of the universe. So never underestimate it. Whatever the kilesas tell you, just be wary of it. Be really wary for it. Because it's not really going to be the truth. I just want to lure you into their realm. Once you're in their realm, they mince you up, They stamp you into bits and pieces, or be minced meat, to become a hamburger, So, without perseverance, without even getting up, all what you have to do is get up, get back in the ring, get up, get back in the ring. That's the perseverance that we need. Just like the child tries to learn to walk, it gets up, falls over, gets up, falls over, gets up, falls over, until it learns how to stand. Same thing, with talking, it tries to utter sound and nobody understands it, so it corrects its sound. It gets completely frustrated. Because it wants that the parents understand, or, the friends understand. But they don't understand, because it doesn't pronounce it correctly. So it gets completely frustrated, but does it give up? No, because it wants to communicate what it has to say, or what it wants. That's why we don't give up. And as long as we wish, we have the desire to overcome dukkha, and the more we feel the dukkha, the bigger the desire is. But if you get complacent, with all these luxury items here in the monastery, there's no way that we want to fight. We just want to have it nice. Sometimes it's nice, Sometimes it's okay, to lay down and take a rest, But only after we have gained a victory, not before the victory. I rest out, so that I'm better, that I have more energy for my next fight. That's what the kilesas tell us, We rest, and then we rest, and we rest, and we rest. And the more we rest, the more lazy we get, and we never get into the fight, into the real fight. We just make show fights. The kilesas love the show fights. Really, they love them, They tell us, that was, you gave me a real big blow, You see the irony of that? They tell us, that was really deep inside. You really gave me a big blow. You really could control me now. But who's telling us? We constantly forget. We don't even remember. Because we constantly believe this voice that tells us what is going on. Tells us all our life, that tells us the life story. And if you don't stop it, it tells us the life story, and then it tells us another life story, and another life story, and they all are similar, but, each time, it takes some other things in. And we all believe it. We all get fooled by it. This voice, this KBC, Kilesas Broadcasting Company, tells us what is happening. So if you don't investigate, what am I actually seeing? With my inner eyes, what am I actually experiencing? The experience that we had, what we saw with our inner eyes, we don't need to put it into words. But the Kilesas love it, and then put it, and praise themselves. That was great, you really did a great job. And then we start believing it, and then the moment we start believing it, we fall again into the trap of the kilesas. And And there, coming to the beginning, and just having Buddha, not having any of these thoughts, can be really a relief. The more, the more we are with our parikama, the more we are with the Buddha, the less of these kind of thoughts are. And we don't believe them, because the moment the thought comes, we wish it away, or we sweep it away with the Buddha. And then these things start to become clear, like the sky is opening, and we start, the light is coming in, and we start to see clearly. Okay, so with this I want to end the talk, otherwise I go on for hours. You understood it? Yes? Questions? No. No.
Currently writing a letter to my parents and my sister.
Yeah.
It's hard to keep sati while I'm doing it. Usually I don't have sati when I'm writing.
Then think about before, what you want to write, and then once you know what you want to write, you think, is that proper? If you don't know if it's proper or not, then just go ahead and write it or don't write it. What is there to say? I'm happily meditating my kuti. I'm happy, may you be happy. So that's all what you do. All what the parents need to know is, that you're happy. They don't care for more. They don't want to know that you have this inside. I have developed to this stage of Dhamma, they don't care.
Yeah, I tried to reread the letter of my sister and my mother, and the point I felt is they want also to just feel secure that I love them. They want this.
Yeah. How can you not? You're part of me. Huh?
Yeah, but then I realized that in my first 3 months of Bhikkhu, I was so happy to be a Bhikkhu.
Yeah.
And I just maybe played the ideal Bhikkhu, and so I was just spreading, I'm happy, and this is like this, it's like this. But
how can they not know? Even if it's an email, even if it's a letter, you instantly know the feeling that person had, once, when it was writing the letter. You feel it in your heart, because it's not different. Huh? It's just like the message came on in the heart, and you feel it, and it disturbs you, and your parents, maybe they don't, it's down on the subconscious level, and then they read it, they get lost in the words, but they know there's something wrong. That's why if you write a letter, be honest.
Yes. Yeah, I realize.
Just be honest, and
also I was
we can only learn from our wrongs. That's the only way, if you don't learn from our wrongdoings, that's why we also have a patimok. If we don't learn from our wrongdoings, we cannot correct ourselves. If we think we are perfect, that's the end of our practice.
I think I was playing the perfect Bhikkhu.
Of course, yes, everybody, especially Westerners. Just look at the Western Sangha, and they are only perfect bhikkhus. Perfectly behaved. Perfectly controlled. Perfectly controlled. Inside, is a turmoil of anger, You just have to poke a little bit, and whoosh, it comes all out. There you see the perfectness, the Western perfectness, or the Western ideal bhikkhu. We don't even know what the Lord Buddha meant with the ideal bhikkhu, We just have ideas, and that's how we control, because we are control freaks. We have to play that role. Just like Shakespeare says, this role on this stage, in this life, in the next role, in the next life, Now we have to play the perfect bhikkhu. Not looking sideward, not looking right, looking down front of us, and telling everybody, how great the Dhamma is, Don't even know the taste of the Dhamma. If you remember Lungta, Who doesn't know the taste of the Dhamma, how can he, but we think we know. Isn't that great? I mean, just the thought, lay people, just the thought of going on a vacation, makes them so happy. Just the thought that we are perfect bhikkhu makes us so happy, And we're getting ourselves fooled and fooled and fooled and fooled, until we don't even know what is true and what is wrong. So controlling is not the thing. Being aware of what is going on, that's the key. That's where sati plays a role. Not giving in. It's not what I mean with controlling. You can use the word control in two different things, To control our behavior according to our ideas. That's what I mean with controlling. Not to give in is another form of controlling. Not to give in when we see, there's greed. Not to give in. That's not controlling in that sense, what I'm talking about. That's just not giving in.
Acting. When you say.
Yeah, acting. Yeah, controlling in the purpose of acting according to our beliefs. How should we practice? How should we behave? How should be this and how should be that? Instead of being, we try to superimpose an idea of us, what that means. If you be calm, when I think, when I have an idea of what is calm, I certainly don't look calm at the moment. I look quite agitated. So then I control everything. That doesn't lead to us anywhere. It's the same thing when you try to control the Buddha. You set up the Buddha and then you put your sati on it, and just don't let the sati off the Buddha. Whatever the Buddha does, is it fast, is it slow, is it deep, is it shallow, you just stick your attention, you stick your concentration on this Buddha. But we try to control the Buddha, or we try to control the breath. Now it has to become. I've meditated 20 minutes, why is the breath not calm? And then make you, and then after 5 minutes, you have to, because you don't get any. That's controlling, and it creates a headache, enormous. The more you control your Buddha, or you really control, in the sense, control the Buddha or control the breath, you get a headache.
Is it okay to sometimes control the Buddha when you've really got a lot of thoughts?
To force it, that's not controlling. Just to force it in, force it in, force it in, force it in, And the moment you see, okay, now it sticks, then let it go. Just follow it. And there's nothing wrong with forcing it. It means not to control it, Controlling means always having an idea how it should be. That's in that term I use the word controlling. An idea how it should be. Trying to make it happen the way that we think it should. That's controlling. And in this sense, we have to learn or let go a lot. Not this controlling. You will see, even in a year or 2 years, you might still see that you still control your breath. It becomes subtler and subtler and more subtle, But you still try to control it. You try to control the breath in and the breath out. You can't let go of it. We attach so much to this breath. Once you go investigate this breath, it's unbelievable. We attach to this breath. We always feel, every moment we feel it goes. And then I die, and it goes. That's why you have to push it, That's what I mean with controlling. Just let it happen naturally. And just put your sati on the breath, or put your sati on the Buddha, or put the sati on Buddha and breath if your mind is completely confused, or your mind is completely uncontrollable. Then do Buddha with breathing in and do with breathing out. That's perfectly fine. Once you get calm, one or the other will fall away. Don't make it, that's the other thing. Now I think it's calm, now I can let go of the Buddha. That's the controlling I'm talking about. I mean, it will fall naturally away because, I mean, the chitta, I mean, in the chitta there's a reaction, I mean, it's too complicated, you know. It's not a thought that comes up. I mean, it's just a sort of knowing that comes up. It's too complicated, you know. And then the chitta lets go. But you always, you know, when you're controlling, you control it. Now it's time for let it go. No, it's not yet time to let it go. It will just happen on its own when it lets go. Because it sees it's too complicated to concentrate and it wants to get deeper. So it lets go of one of the things. Now, I mean, it's the same thing, you know. I mean, we all hear, you know, in meditation, you know, when we get calm, you know, then the sati will fall into the heart. Okay. Now, I mean, we as control freaks, yes, the chitta, we think the chitta is calm, let's go to the chitta, you know. And then we will feel only restlessness, and you know. It automatically goes there, you know, you cannot even prevent it from going there. But when you look, you know, I mean, at that moment, concentration, you know, and sati, well, you know, the sati will fall into the heart. Actually, that's where the sati comes from. That's why actually, you know, I mean, it arises there, but it's so concentrated. So it will go there and it will operate from there. But the point of concentration is still where we have it, at the tip of the nose. It's very clear. It becomes very clear. It will divide itself up. But in the beginning, it seems to be concentration and sati. It seems to be the same thing. The point of concentration is the object that we concentrate on, and the sati knows the quality of the object. Okay? Understood? What? It doesn't stay where? Because it's too soft. But so then you should keep it on the nose. No. I mean, it wants to move, you know, and it's most probably because of the kilesas. I mean, what I was talking about, when the sati falls back into the chitta, I mean, it comes from the chitta. I mean, you can't control it. But if it wants to move, you know, then you can do it, you know, just to see it. Where does it move to? It moves inside, yeah? I mean, so let it, you know, I mean, if it falls, you know, let it fall, but, you know, keep your point of concentration here. But then see also, you know, if you thought it should fall, no, I mean, you don't have to study it. I mean, just experience, you know. I mean, if it stays there and gets calmer and calmer and calmer, yeah. Okay. And then let it, you know. You don't have to pull the sati up, you know. But, you know, you will notice, you know, you still have that point in your concentration. But there's something moving inside. So keep the point there. Because that is the point of focus. Because even if the sati goes in there and doesn't have a center of attention, it automatically moves away. That's exactly what Lungta describes when his chitta when his chitta deteriorated. Because he didn't have a point of reference anymore, that's why he couldn't see that the chitta is moving. No, I mean the Buddha is anywhere. It's not with the Buddha, it's just with the breath. The breath at the tip of the nose. Just stay with the Buddha. And don't let it fade away. I mean, the Buddha is never at the tip of the nose. The Buddha is just anywhere. It can be in the heart, it can be in the mind, you know, it can be anywhere. In the beginning it's in the mind and it will fall into the heart. And then you just listen to the Buddha. That is the breath. Anapanasati. Mindfulness of breathing in and breathing out. But if you have never done it...
When the breath is very defined.
Yes. I mean, you still don't see it... Yes, you can. I mean, even the last breath, you know. I mean, then it becomes more and more and more. It goes to the knowing. I mean, the knowingness knows if you're still breathing or not. The knowingness knows if the breathing is subtle or not. I mean, that's why you see this noting? I mean, we try to get to that what knows. So, I mean, we have to use it. I mean, in the beginning, also with the breath, I mean, we have to know, is the breath deep or is it breath shallow? Is it the in-breath or the out-breath? So we have to use the noting faculty that I described for you also in the beginning stages of our practice. So it will automatically lead to the knowing faculty of our citta. I mean, even if other people cannot feel your breath anymore, and you're still breathing, you know it. And it's much more aware than when you're in the beginning. You know every cell that is breathing in your body. So that just, it's just that the focus is not strong enough to get it. Then you have to reapply focus. On the Buddha, the same thing. The Buddha seems to fade away. But that's not how Lungta Mahaboa describes it. I mean, the Buddha becomes clearer and clearer and clearer. And then it fills out everything. I mean, it fills out everything until, it becomes a burden. And then the citta decides to let go. So it doesn't fade away slowly, slowly, slowly. Fading away of the breath or fading away of the Buddha is always the tricks of the kilesas to undermine us already. They have more power, so they pull out and say, it's so small, and I actually want to, let it go. It's better to let it go now, so that I can, go in.
And at this time, we have to force.
Yes.
To tell me, okay.
No, it's just an action. It's just an intention. Okay.
Not to get angry, but just.
Why should you get angry?
Me.
Why should you get angry?
Because it's fade away, so...
No, not getting angry, not at all, just, okay. That, just make yourself aware the moment the Buddha seems to fade away or the breath seems to fade away, my intention, my attention or my awareness is not up to the speed. So let me re-establish my attention, my awareness. Where's the Buddha? And then bring it up new. Doesn't matter. Just like, you fall over and then you get up again, and then you fall over, and get up again. It doesn't fade away. Be clear, that's not the right way to deep samadhi. It does not fade away. It becomes actually clearer and clearer and clearer. With the Buddha for me, with the breath, the breath, I felt it in every cell. I actually felt how I breathe in through the fingertips. It becomes so clear, how can you not know it, Because then actually, through the beginning practice of our sati, once the sati drops in the citta, the knowingness takes there. And how can it not know? This citta knows every aspect of this body, every moment, every second. So this knowing faculty will know it's still breathing. And then it will say, when the breathing really stops, I stop breathing. And then that moment, when that knowingness comes up, there's mostly a thought, I will die. And then you're gone out. Then you have to start again. When you go to sleep, you don't know if you die. Don't care. You just hope, or you just assume because all your life you woke up, and one day you will not wake up. You die.
Does it actually stop in the body, the breath?
Yes,
the body as well?
Of course.
Really stop.
Yes. You're dead. I mean not clinical death, but what is it? Medical death. No, I mean there's a differentiation. I don't know what is right. Huh? I mean that's why they buried people who were in Appana Samadhi. Because they thought they are dead.
There is still a breath.
Yes, there's. I mean, you cannot. But nowadays, with all this fine machinery, you still see heartbeat and breath. But it's so extremely slow. I mean, they couldn't measure it. So they thought, he's dead. They buried him, and after 3 days, he came out of the Appana Samadhi and saw himself in a coffin. And tried to get out. I mean, they found. When they digged up some graves, they found, the fingernails into the coffin, wood. Because people didn't understand. No, you really are dead. That's why they can chop you up in bits and pieces without the chitta knowing. I mean, it's really, the chitta really, went into one-pointedness. So it doesn't know anything about this body anymore. I mean, if somebody beheads you, you're beheaded. The moment the chitta comes back, it will realize, this body is dead, unusable. It will go out. But then it will go out completely.
It will go and find another body.
Yeah. Or, get a new rebirth.
If we are in Appana Samadhi and somebody chop, we don't know.
No, we don't know.
We just die and...
Yeah, and the body just dies. We don't die. The chitta doesn't die. I mean, don't think, you will not be able to do that in your real death. But people hope, that the church can pull out, but you're so agonized by the fact that you're going to die, you will not be able to go into Appana Samadhi.
So if we die like this, we cannot go in hell because we don't have the...
Oh yes, sure, you can go into hell. The moment the chitta comes back, I mean, it will take, it will come back into the world of senses, and then suddenly you see, my body is gone. And then, instantly, this wanting, the desire. I mean, you can rest only in Appana Samadhi, for 7 days. Even what is that, that where you have no consciousness, or where you Samapati, or whatever it's called. I mean, where only the Arhants can go. It's only 7 days, and then they come back.
So you come back and see your head chopped off.
Yeah. And then you instantly get angry. Yeah, of course you get angry, huh? And then you look,
No. I feel compassion for the bad karma. It's good.
Yes, they will get angry. I mean, if they overcome their anger, then they will, or if they're at the stage of Sodapanna, I mean, they will just, okay, that's my karma, yeah. But if you're at the stage of a worldling, where you still wanted to get, to the stage of Sodapanna, and then you see your head chopped off, I mean, you really get, it automatically comes. Because he actually took you the chance, to get. But that, of course, won't happen.
When I do the Budo, sometimes when I get calm, I have Vedana in the heart region, but I should not...
No, you should not concentrate. No.
Just Budo.
That's what is so difficult. I mean, and they lure us, especially then, a nice feeling, and the kilesas instantly, look at this nice feeling, and then we completely go off, and
Yeah, before I didn't see it was Vedana. Now I see more clearly.
Yeah.
I just thought it was like a kind of peaceful state, but now I see more clearly it's just Vedana. But it doesn't...
Yeah. Don't worry about it, I mean, the knowing faculty actually knows. Whatever is there to know, I mean, the chitta knows. So don't worry about, what has arisen and ceased. I mean, it's not of no importance. The more we train, it's no importance, what the kilesas tell us. The less they will, try to interact and fool us. Just then, come out when we do the real investigation. Then we really poke them. Just like with spares, Okay. And then they come out, with all the anger and with all the lust. And that's a fight. Okay, that's enough for today, huh? That's quite long, yeah?